Peter did not allow any man to bow down to him and just said, "Stand up, I myself also am a man." But what about the Pope? Matthew 23 verse 7 says that the Pharisees loved to be greeted in the marketplaces. They loved the praises of men. And does that not fit the Pope? In Indiana Jones' The Last Crusade, there is a memorable scene where the protagonist must choose the correct chalice of Christ to avoid certain doom. Will the cup from Christ's Last Supper be adorned with jewels, or remain a humble vessel befitting that of a carpenter? Would selecting the wrong chalice of Christ be analogous to appointing an unsuitable pope as the leader of the church? In Matthew 8 verse 14, we read that St. Peter, who the Catholic Church calls their first pope, had a wife. It says, "Now when Jesus had come into Peter's house, he saw his wife's mother lying sick with a fever." If the first pope was married and had a mother-in-law, why can't popes and priests get married? The late Charles Spurgeon, known as the Prince of Preachers, published this about the Popery of Rome.
"Of all the dreams that ever deluded men, and probably of all blasphemies that ever were uttered, there has never been one in which is more absurd, and which is more fruitful in all manner of mischief, than the idea that the Bishop of Rome can be the head of the Church of Jesus Christ. Essence of lies and quintessence of blasphemy, as the religion of Rome is, it nevertheless fascinates a certain order of Protestants, of whom we fear it may be truly said that they have received a strong delusion to believe a lie. Not in a party spirit, but for truth's sake, our Protestantism must protest perpetually. If I were a Roman Catholic, I should turn a heretic in sheer desperation, because I would rather go to heaven than go to purgatory. When the thief died on the cross, he had but just believed and had never done a single good work. But where did he go? He ought to have gone to purgatory by rights, if ever anybody did. But instead of that, the Savior said to him, "Today shalt thou be with me in paradise." Luke 23:43. Why? Because the ground of the man's admission into paradise was perfect.
In other words, entrance into paradise requires no pope, not even baptism, and neither any potential of a purgatory.